and now they are liable to give you the disease. What if this person does this on purpose and then says, well, you knew I had HIV, so then they can't get in trouble for it legally. Now this person can really just, play with your heart and your health and all that shit all at the same time. All right, so what's good, y'all? Mr. Say So TV is back. So now, today I want to talk about HIV. Basically, a story time about a person or two that I have dated with HIV. Also, just some facts and some things that are myths about the virus and etc. How to prevent from it as a top and a bottom, etc. So stay tuned and fuck with your boy, okay? Now, to start this off, just to let y'all know, I am HIV negative. It's not anyone's, well, I should say, it is their responsibility and their right, but no one has to tell you or disclose their HIV status, but I like to, because I want my community to just know, and also to shut down all them rumors about bisexual men being HIV positive and spreading around diseases and shit. That's another reason why I want to make this video. So just to tap onto that first before I forget. I see in my comments a lot, and I have not addressed it yet, but I get a lot of comments talking about, women don't need to mess with bisexual men, and all bisexual men are spreading diseases. Y'all are the reason why why women are catching HIV and etc. Y'all are talking about DL men, okay, that I also do not advocate for totally. Now, I do advocate for them in a way because I can relate to them, and I have been DL myself. I understand their struggle. However, don't get that misunderstood with the fact that, okay, openly and bisexual men or gay men could have given you HIV, but also straight men can also contract HIV in certain ways. Eazy-E caught it. We don't know if he was DL or not, but I think that was a lethal injection, to be 100. But hey, that's all up to opinion or whatever. But basically what I'm saying is that, to classify HIV as a only gay disease automatically is offensive. And honestly, I want to also address something else. I think y'all believe, straight people, do y'all believe that gay people just conjure up HIV and AIDS by us having sex with each other? I really want that to be answered, because I think that that's what y'all think. I think that a lot of straight people assume that we create HIV throughout us having sex with each other, just as same sex, gay sex just creates HIV, and it doesn't, y'all. You have to be in contact with the virus to contract it. So all this bisexual men HIV talk, it's like y'all automatically assume that if somebody says that they somebody says that they bisexual or gay, that they automatically are saying that they're HIV positive, and that's not the case. That's homophobic as shit, though, actually. All right, so I just want to put that out there. Every gay and bisexual man, or even DL man, is not HIV positive or have AIDS. Some of us are very healthy. I'm healthy as a fucking horse. I don't play that shit. I'm healthy as shit because I still want to have a kid and shit eventually one day. I've made sure that I've kept myself clean. You know what I'm saying? So it's very offensive when y'all do that. Quit always doing that. Every time a bisexual man or a gay man is brought up, the first thing I'll think about is AIDS and HIV. Stop that shit. And it ain't totally all y'all's fault. Y'all been brainwashed and conditioned, because every time you look on TV or any kind of ad about HIV prevention, like PrEP or anything, all they usually got is us in that motherfucker. They won't put a gay black couple in no other commercial barely, but they will definitely put us in that damn PrEP or that HIV commercial, man. That shit crazy. But yeah. So Now, to go in on the topic about HIV. So, first, contraction. HIV is contracted through blood, semen, and then saliva is the last. Oh, blood, semen, and then bodily fluids, and then saliva is the last way of contracting it. Saliva is the least way possible of contracting it, meaning there's like a lower than a lower than 2% chance to catch it by getting head. All right. Or even giving head, because basically HIV also dies when it touches air. It cannot be airborne. Once it's airborne, it dies immediately. So if someone gets an open cut around you, that's not contractable, or that's not contagious, okay? It's already been out in the open in the air. The only way that you can really catch that shit when it comes to being a top, I've made that in a video before, you would have to be, you'd have to come into a lot of bodily fluid. And I think that honestly, if you fucking a dude, that means shit. Even that cream shit that comes out, which I've been told that by a porn star, I've been told that shit fake. Men can cream out their ass, but it's not never as much as you see in porn. That shit, if they're putting that shit up their asses in their douche bottles, and then when they're getting fucked on set, it's coming out. That's not really cream or cum or whatever, but yeah. So bodily fluids and blood is the way that you're gonna catch it as a top. So I recommend every time you fuck raw on a hookup and you don't know about this person's status, piss immediately after you fuck them and wash your dick off, and that should prevent you from HIV. Now, it ain't gonna prevent you from the other STDs, because bacterial diseases you may still catch, but HIV you should be good. Now, for a bottom, your main things that you're gonna have to worry about catching it from as a bottom is semen, and it is thick in semen, okay? Like that, I think the highest HIV antibodies carry through semen and then blood. So that's why a lot of bottoms, that's the reason why being a bottom or versatile is what is most contagious of becoming a HIV positive person, because it has to get into your stream, y'all. Like I said, it has to get attached itself to blood cells. You don't have blood cells in your penis urethra. Like your actual penis, it doesn't have blood cells. The virus will have to travel up through your dick and get into your body to reproduce the blood cells of HIV antibodies. So that's why I say y'all get up and piss as a top, because you could actually have had the shit in your dick for real, and then you done pissed it out. I know that shit sound crazy, but biology and science is some weird shit. So that's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? But as the bottom, like I said, or the versatile dude, yeah, that's why I've always considered in my other videos that 9 times out of 10, if a dude gave you HIV, he was versatile catching that shit. You ain't really catch no HIV from no full top. You know what I'm saying? Unless he was sloppy with it, like fucking niggas back to back, not taking showers, not pissing, not being aware, and not wearing condoms and shit. Yeah, maybe. You know what I'm saying? So, those are the ways of contracting it. Then, now I'm going to give y'all a backstory. So, when it comes to relationships and dating by HIV people, I'm going to say this. I personally had not been against it for a while, because I was being this whole positive person. Also, I didn't want to, block any blessings. I didn't want to block anyone out and then they be the person for me at the end of the day. So I was open minded to it, because I look at it like, as long as I don't catch it, I'm fine with it. I'm not going to judge you all the way based on it. I used to. I've had phases with this HIV positive thing. I ain't going to cap. At first, I was just like, if you didn't caught HIV, you didn't have to be a hoe. You know what I'm saying? Because how the fuck else you didn't caught the shit? Because I'd have been fucking hella niggas and I still ain't caught the shit. That was my first mindset. Then it was, well, They could have caught it through, there's all kinds of ways of catching it. They could have been loyal to somebody and they ended up catching it. It could have been somebody's first time losing their virginity and caught it. I've actually talked to people like that. So that's when I was okay. Well, then, and they actually been good people. I've noticed a lot of guys that have HIV, they will treat you better than the average nigga sometimes. And I think that has a direct link to them feeling selfless or uh, not worthy, them feeling less than or whatever because of the virus. So I've tended a lot of them may treat you better, but also not just in the negative way where they feel less than, but also I've noticed that they have a better value of life. Like because of the fact that they've had to deal with traumatic experiences that could have took their life or whatever. I notice people who deal with like very close to death or close to like things that have had to really wake them up and look at life a certain way, they tend to have a value of life that's way better than the average person who's taking a lot of shit for granted. Okay? So that's another plus to a person that I've noticed that got HIV. The other plus, I will say, I don't consider it a plus, but a lot of people will, and plus it's just a fact, so I'm gonna just tell y'all. Y'all know HIV positive people get bills and shit paid for them, like they rent and all kinds of shit just from being fucking HIV positive. So there for a while I was on my own, on my grind, like my bachelor shit, and I was like one of the only niggas that had my own crib, and I was always trying to understand why am I the only nigga who's on like that. But then the other niggas that I would know, like when I would say like I'm like the only nigga that's on like that. The other niggas that I would know that have their own crib and shit, about 3, 4, 5 years ago, they all had HIV, y'all. I'm not capping. Like I'm dead ass. Like I couldn't believe that. I was just like, damn. So all the other niggas, I'm really overachieving because all the other niggas I know that got their own shit, they got HIV, which means they getting a check. You know what I'm saying? I used to work for a nonprofit organization that would give checks for people with HIV. You know what I'm saying? So these motherfuckers get their rent paid, all kinds of shit, health benefits for having that shit. You know what I'm saying? They also have some things that I think would go against them as well, but that's just a plus. I just want to throw that out there because it's a fact. You know what I'm saying? So now, when it comes to dating them, I have been open to dating a HIV person, like I said. However, each time I tried it, y'all, it was proven to me that nah, maybe for someone else, but not for me. And it's not about the HIV; it's about the people specifically that I was dating. The first person that I dated with this virus, they were so insecure that it didn't matter what I did. They always thought I was cheating, or they always found a way to take it back to they're not worthy. And I can't be in the business of always reassuring somebody of things that they supposed to have for themselves. You know what I'm saying? So that's one. And then the second one that I dealt with, I'm gonna give y'all a straight up story time. I'm gonna go real quick through it though. The nigga, cool as fuck. I honestly thought that if it wasn't for that, well, I'm gonna give y'all the story. All right. This was when I was in KC about a year and some change ago, around the time when I started my channel. I was dating this dude. He was cool as fuck. Had his own crib, car, everything just like me, right? So I looked at him like an equal. That was the first plus. You know what I'm saying? We get around each other, good vibe, good energy. Also, he was my type as far as looks. A little shorter than me, uh, brown skin, nice little booty, petite size, you know what I'm saying? Nice little body, nice little shape. Like everything was hitting, like everything was a check, check. Good career, check. Independent on his own, check. Like seemed to be healthy mentally, check. Until a little bit of time went on, right? And then all of a sudden, the dude takes me to this wedding, this gay wedding. This was my very first time witnessing a gay wedding, y'all. It was so dope. Just to put that out there, it was so beautiful to see that shit, bro. Like real talk. Like I really did enjoy the experience. And that's why I'm gonna tell y'all, regardless of what y'all go through with any guy that you date or any girl that you date, anyone that you date, always enjoy it because you don't know when it's gonna end, and you don't know. At the end of the day, life is a journey. You don't know if shit gonna last or not, but enjoy it is what I'm trying to tell you. All right. These are also your experiences. This is your journey. All right. So, nigga took me to the first gay wedding that I ever went to. It was great. I'm glad I enjoyed that. I experienced that. You know what I'm saying? However, and he was in the wedding. It was one of his friends that was getting married, and he was actually one of the best men or whatever. So I'm automatically in the zone, in the, just in this whole little thing that I got going on with him. I'm just looking at it like, hmm, this could be the one. You know what I'm saying? Like, this could be a nigga that I could actually take serious and go somewhere with. He got a crowd of people. He got a good community of people that's doing the things that I want to do. I want to be in a circle of friends who are getting married and people who have long relationships and shit. Like, them is the kind of friends I want. I'm tired of having hoe friends. Like, I'm not a hoe. I don't need to just have hoe friends. Like, I need to have friends that are doing what I want to do or are already where I want to be. You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking at like, oh, everything's a check right now. You know what I'm saying? Shit's good. I also already knew about the HIV thing. Now, let me tell y'all, the issue I had with this nigga about the HIV thing is that he didn't tell me until after the first time we had sex. So that was the first strike. All right? So since we tallying up shit, that was the first strike. Nigga, you let me fuck you and you ain't tell me you had HIV? That was a strike. But because of the fact that I had on a condom, I let that shit slide. You know what I'm saying? You didn't let me fuck you without a condom, even though you let me fuck you without telling me. But because you let me fuck and you made sure I had a condom on, I'm going to go ahead and let that pass. All right? Because I was being empathetic. I was like, all right, well, I don't have HIV. I don't know how that affects people. They may feel like it's a burden on them having to go around here and tell somebody every time they hook up with somebody type shit. It can get exhausting or whatever. I don't know. So I was empathetic about that. So that was already known by the time the wedding and everything, by the time we went to the wedding. So now, after the wedding shit, we get back, because the wedding was in St. Louis, actually, St. Louis, Missouri. We go back to Kansas City. We still dating. Everything's good, right? All of a sudden, y'all, we get on a topic about marriage or whatever. And we were just talking about it randomly, about random shit about it. And all of a sudden, this nigga was just like, well, I am married. And I was just like, whoa, wait a minute. What? Like, you married? I'm like, nigga, when the fuck was you gonna tell me this? Like, you done took me to a whole wedding and all this other shit. Got my little hopes up for what possibly could be for us in the future or whatever. I'm thinking, why would you take me to a wedding if you're already married and you trying to, and you know that that's something I want in life or whatever. So I'm just like, what the fuck? And then he tells me like, this is like 3 months after dating this nigga, y'all. Like, you supposed to tell somebody that within the first month. Why you telling me you got HIV? Why you telling me all this other shit? You supposed to be telling me that. Come to find out, I asked about what was going on with that. He got married when gay marriage first became legal back in 2015 or whatever. These niggas got married, was only together for the first year, broke up after that, which means these niggas was broken up from 2016 or 17 all the way up until this was what, 2021, 2022 when me and him was talking. So you ain't getting no divorce, nothing, and you want me to take you serious and get my feelings and my heart all invested in this, and then I can't even marry you if I want to. You know what I'm saying? And then, not only that, you technically still, in my opinion, belong to somebody else. Why the fuck come you haven't gotten a divorce yet? So, it was just too much baggage. And then, honestly, with the HIV thing on top of that, I was just like, I'm cool on it. Like, I went on ahead and let that nigga go on about his business because I was just like, and that's when I realized, like, damn, you can really think you meet a full package in somebody, and then it's always this catch. It seems like it did. You know what I'm saying? Until I met my dude now, which I won't say everything is perfect, but it's good and is perfect for me. I'll say that. So yeah, I was just like, damn, like I was like, did you not tell me that because of insecurities or whatever? And basically, I just realized that I feel like, guys with HIV, they have a lot of self love that they need to work on. They need to understand that they are good enough. They need to realize that. And they need to find out a way to do that because honestly, a person who is not HIV positive will not really relate to what you got going on. You know what I'm saying? And that's just facts. Like, I could sit here and try to act like and be as empathetic as I want to be, but I honestly just would never understand that shit. You know what I'm saying? And I hope that I don't. And I hope that everyone who is HIV negative never has to. It's not about the fact that you can live forever. It's not about that they have new technology that doesn't mean that it's a death sentence. It doesn't mean that. It doesn't have nothing to do with that to me. It's about the fact that I want to leave this motherfucker like I came in. I didn't come in with no diseases. I don't want to leave with no diseases. I didn't come in with a broken motherfucking leg. I want to leave with all my limbs. I want to have my legs, my arms, my fingers, my toes, all that shit. It's just a self health thing. You know what I'm saying? I just don't want no diseases. You know what I'm saying? That's why I work out. I eat good. You know what I'm saying? I believe in health. I'm not just it's not about just the way you look. It's not about just being fat. It's about being healthy, not just physically, mentally. I believe in health. So that's all. But also I've seen that they be healthy too, because he was healthy as a motherfucker. I would have never known. And that's another thing, y'all. Y'all would never know either about that. There's some fine ass niggas walking around this motherfucker with that shit, straight up. So be careful. You know what I'm saying? Don't judge nobody based on their looks to consider them to have HIV. Because a motherfucker will look real good and real healthy out here. Straight up. And it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't mean that they're not healthy. It just means that they have a virus. It's an immune virus. You know what I'm saying? So everybody is entitled to classify that the way that they want. You know what I'm saying? It's argumentably makes them unhealthy or not. You know what I'm saying? Straight up. So my advice is don't allow a person with HIV to be a deal breaker for you. I'll put it that way. If you really like this person's a really good person, don't allow that to be a deal breaker because that is a personal thing at the end of the day. You don't have to become HIV positive with them just to be with them. All right? You can still stay negative. They have PrEP, they have other resources. So do your research and stay safe because Kelzo say so. I will see y'all on the next one. Peace. Oh, and for all the HIV positive people, men and women, be honest about y'all's status from the jump. Do not go out here and get people at risk or anything like that. Even if you're undetectable. All right, I've gotten that a lot where people be like, "Oh, I'm undetectable, so I didn't have to tell you." Nah, I think you still should tell someone because you're not HIV negative. HIV negative means you don't have HIV. HIV undetectable means that you have it and it's hidden. You've gotten the viral load down so low that you are not contagious. That's what that means. However, a person still needs to know that. You know what I'm saying? So that's one. And then two, what's another thing? My only concerns when dating a HIV positive person is that, okay, I've had motherfuckers try to unalive themselves because I didn't want to be with them no more. So if I decide not to want to be with you no more, or if something starts going in this direction where you think that you're going to lose me, what if this person just decides to stop taking their meds and then they become contagious? Like, let's say they were undetectable, right? They stop taking their meds and then now they've become contagious or contractable to this shit. And now they are liable to give you the disease. What if this person does this on purpose and then says, "Well, you knew I had HIV, so then they can't get in trouble for it legally." Now this person can really just, play with your heart and your health and all that shit all at the same time. So I just feel like HIV positive people understand that we do still have worries and that we're still taking a risk dating you guys, even if you're undetectable, because that can change. If you miss a dose or you miss a shot, how do you know you're gonna still be undetectable? And then we fucking raw, because eventually, if you're in a relationship with somebody, you're gonna eventually want to fuck raw. 9 times out of 10. And then now you done let somebody be contractable to it. So it's just there's ins and outs. You know what I'm saying? They could be depressed. I heard they can go through shit, and it could also fuck up their viral load. It's not all about them being caught up on their meds. They can shoot up. They can spike up from stress and shit. You know what I'm saying? So just be aware of that as well, y'all. When dating someone with HIV. Also, what I want to throw on here, HIV test. People used to say, or I still even hear people saying that it to take, well, a HIV test can take up to 30 days to be proven if you're actually HIV negative. No, that's also another myth. That's outdated. That used to be how it was. Nowadays, you can literally go in somewhere who has the finger prick ones, the antigens finger prick ones. Those tell you if you've had exposure within the last 7 days. So you will want to get another test if it has been past if it hasn't been past 7 days. But I would just wait till the 7 days and then go get tested. You know what I'm saying? So that's another thing. Also, the blood draw ones. That just the only reason why those take long is because of the fact that the fucking hospitals and shit be running hella tests. It doesn't actually take that long to tell you what your results are, like, or what your time frame was. So it would be anywhere within. I think they're all the last 7 days now, within the last week to 2 weeks. So it's not a month anymore. That's one, and then also another thing. So I recommend bottoms or versatile dudes should definitely be on PrEP. However, everyone can utilize PrEP. I personally don't utilize it. I never did because I don't like side effects in medication, like bone density, whatever the fuck. I don't want no side effects from medication. So I just never did it. That's just me. But I do recommend, especially if you are being penetrated on a regular basis by random people in a hookup scene, etc., or you're not monogamous, I think that you should be on PrEP just to stay safe from HIV straight up. Because it's out there. I'm trying to tell y'all, I was coming across so many different dudes and people I would never think. Like, I told you I used to work for a nonprofit organization, but it was also a clinic. So I used to do HIV tests on people where I do the finger prick. I'm certified in all of that. So, but not only that, before I got involved with actually doing the test on people, I would just recruit people to go get tested. And I got this 19-year-old dude that was trying to talk to me. I got this nigga tested. I'm thinking he gonna be good, thinking because whenever they got tested, we would also give them like a $50 gift card just for an incentive. So that's what he was really doing it for, was for the $50. But then come to find out, this nigga comes out and he was actually positive, and so I had to actually see him and comfort him throughout that. Like, my coworkers told me, my supervisor told me, like, hey, since you brought him in here, I'm gonna give you responsibility to stay with him, just for a few hours and just, go get ice cream or go do something, go talk, walk around, talk at the park or something. Like, so I was like, all right, cool. So that's what I did. Like, I chilled with him, comforted him after that, you know what I'm saying, just to make sure he wouldn't hurt himself and make sure he'd be all right and shit. And yeah, he wasn't nothing but 19, y'all. I couldn't believe that shit. I was what, like 24, 25 at the time. And I just felt so bad for the fact that he had to live the rest of his life with that shit. I couldn't even imagine, but he was a writer for it. He was strong about it, and I applaud him for that shit. I think that they go through a lot of epiphany and stuff. I feel like I already appreciate life like that though, because of just certain things that have happened in my life. So I don't feel like I take it for granted like most people do either. But I feel like people who have HIV, they definitely have a different appreciation for this world, for life. You know what I'm saying? And what else did I want to say about this? So yeah, I had my phases about the mindset about dating people with it, but as time went through, I eventually got to the point where I realized that um, it wasn't something that I was ever worried about, but I just noticed that a lot of guys that I would not have assumed, and it's always usually in places where the healthcare system sucks, because out here in Denver, right, you can literally go into a hospital, the busiest hospital, go to the emergency room and say, "Hey, I think I've been exposed to HIV or STD," and nigga, they're going to shoot you up in everything. Like they're gonna give you the shit to cure you from it and everything right then and there. Like they're gonna test you, give you the meds or the shots or whatever to get you right, the penicillin or whatever. They're gonna get you right before they send you off, and then you'll get your test later, like the next week or so. Nigga, nah. When I was in Kansas City, that was not the case. You had to make an appointment, and then the appointments were booked out over a month. So you'd be walking around, nigga. If you did come in contact with like a STD, like let's say you came in contact with chlamydia or something, you gonna be walking around with your dick leaking for a minute just because, and pissing, burning, and burning piss and shit, just because the healthcare system. Because when you go to the emergency rooms out there, you can't get seen unless you have health insurance. Like you have to have health insurance in certain places. Not saying that like you're not supposed to have health insurance because you should, but I'm just saying like I had just moved down there, and when you first get somewhere, you wild out. I thought I had came in contact with some shit. Came to find out it was just a fucking urinary tract infection or whatever. But like, yeah, still the fact that like I'm just like y'all's healthcare system sucks. All that's why all you niggas got all these diseases out here. When you in bigger places like Atlanta and shit, and you got places, even I think Atlanta might be it was like that when I was down there. I don't know how it is now. If somebody's from Atlanta, comment and let me know how is it there. Can you just go into a hospital or a clinic and get actually cured, or do you only get tested and then you have to wait for the cure later, even though you have symptoms like and shit? Yeah, let my comments know what's up with that. But yeah, that's pretty much everything HIV from my standpoint, y'all. They can be undetectable, which means that they're not contractable or contagious, but they can go in and out of that, and that is true. Now, if they stay maintained on their meds and they stay healthy and all that, they should be good. But it's all up to personal interpretation, y'all. If you decide that you want to go with someone who has that, just know the risks. That's what this video is for. It's not to hate and spread no kind of uh, disdain for anybody. I believe everybody still deserves love and happiness and health and everything. So that's it for this one. Because Kelzo say so.